I'm proud to stand here today with Assemblymember David Alvarez, who is pushing forth a very important bill that is going to help law enforcement protect crime victims, and especially protect crime victims from sexual violence and from stalkers and from things that cause them terrible harm. I'm going to turn it over to the Assembly member to tell you more about this law and bill, and then I'll come back and talk about it from our prosecution point of view. Thank you, Assembly member.
Thank you. Thank you, District Attorney Stephan. Appreciate all of your support, and good morning to all of you. As stated, I'm Assemblymember David Alvarez, representing the 80th District here in San Diego, up at our state capitol in Sacramento. I'm really pleased to be here today. The District Attorney's Office has been tremendous in ensuring that we have laws that are just, especially for our victims, and that's what this bill is about. This is a technology reform for access to crime evidence, also known as the TRACE Act, TRACE Amendment. It's Assembly Bill 358, and it's a straightforward but crucial reform that empowers Californians from increasing threat of technology, of digital stalking, and of illegal surveillance. The bill ensures that when a victim finds a hidden tracking or recording device or something that's being used in their private space, in their home, in their vehicle, on their personal property, that law enforcement can investigate that device immediately with that victim's consent, without any unnecessary delays. Right now, the laws in California make it easier for abusers and stalkers to evade justice than for victims and survivors to get the protection that they need. And this bill is about changing that. AB 358 is about closing a dangerous loophole in our laws while maintaining strong privacy protections for all Californians. Survivors of domestic violence, of stalking, of harassment are increasingly being tracked through small, hard-to-detect devices hidden in their most private spaces, including their homes and their vehicles. These are things like AirTags, GPS trackers, small hidden cameras that are being misused to intimidate, control, and manipulate victims. But unfortunately, as stated earlier, under current law, even when a victim finds those devices, law enforcement cannot immediately inspect it to help bring justice to them. Instead, officers have to be waiting for a warrant, giving the perpetrator time to remotely erase the data and continue to evade authorities. So Assembly Bill 358 ensures that victims can reclaim their privacy and retake immediate action when they are being illegally tracked, monitored, or recorded.
So when a device is found that is helping to track a stalking victim, helping to track a domestic violence victim who's trying to escape her abuser, we see this regularly at our family justice centers where victims are fleeing abuse, and we sweep underneath the cars and everywhere we can find to see if there are tracking devices or recording devices. And they're more common than people would think. This technology is being used by people to continue to control and to harm crime victims, the most vulnerable of them. Understand that the US Constitution provides for constitutional protections. And that means that we have to get a search warrant when somebody has a device that's on them. We have to get a search warrant in order to follow the law. But when someone abandons that property and puts it where a victim is, they put it in the victim's car, they put it in a bathroom to capture images of children in private spaces in the bathroom. These are real cases. In dorm rooms of somebody that they're obsessed with, that they're stalking, to capture private intimate images of these victims. That means that person, that property, they've left it. They've left the right to control that property. That's under the US Constitution. However, California law under the Electronic Protection Act expanded that so that we still have to get a search warrant even though the wrongdoer is not anywhere around that surveillance equipment and has really attached it to the victim. The victim, even though it's their own home, their own dorm, their own car, doesn't have the right to consent to police and investigators to search that property and be able to capture the images and the very evidence that's needed. This allows for wrongdoers to then erase remotely and to make the evidence dissipate. It also doesn't allow the amount of speed needed to track what is going on and to stop the damage and to stop the wrongdoer. What this bill does, the TRACE bill, the Technology Reform for Access to Crime Evidence Amendment, it amends the ECPA that was passed so that it has these exceptions that are still meeting the constitutional duties of law enforcement under the law. We truly appreciate the amount of effort that Assemblymember David Alvarez and his team has put into negotiating, putting this forth to the Public Safety Committee. We still have a road to go, but this bill, AB 358, is a critical reform that law enforcement is very supportive of, and so are victims groups, because it balances the rights of victims with the rights of offenders. We are still complying with the Constitution, but not going overboard to allow the dissipation and destruction of evidence to protect someone's rights who left that property there to do harm. There's real cases of a peeping Tom that leaves a spy camera inside a store bathroom in order to capture images. But even though the store owner gives us permission under the ECPA law as it was, without this amendment, we're unable to actually search that surveillance device. The same with a stalker who's recording the victim's movements in their dorm room. Many scenarios that you can imagine where we're unable to do our job with the speed that we're supposed to keep up with technology. I'm thankful for Joel Madera, who leads our catch team, who helped write this to bring this fix that meets the Constitution, and Pat Espinoza and his team who have worked hard on this bill. So we're thankful for the Assembly member for hearing us, for pushing for this with his team, and we've just passed a very critical step with the Public Safety Committee, but we have to keep going to the end.